It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking our best free cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, before I dive any further into this, I had to cut like 10 or 15 free cards off of this list because Tier Maker, had a, I guess, limit to it, so it is what it is. We got our top, like, 54 free cards, and basically every free card outside of, like, the Emerald, Anthony Davis, and Luka Doncic from Season 2, in which both those cards absolutely stink anyway. So that's what we're going to be getting into in this video. Before we dive any further, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 130,000 subscribers. Brandon Roy S tier. If you went and grinded out every game mode last season, you got the Diamond Brandon Roy, and he is still a top 2 shooting guard in the game. I think he's number 2 behind Michael Jordan, but as far as free cards are concerned, he's S tier. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you got Brandon Roy, you should still be using him still to this day. And honestly, if you got him, there's really no need to even have Michael Jordan. Yes, MJ, in my opinion, is slightly better, but Brandon Roy is so good by himself. Cam Whitmore up next, B or C tier. I'm going to move him to C tier for now. He could possibly get moved up. When Cam Whitmore came out, he was absolutely elite. The problem is, he came out nearly a month ago. Now, 2K has done a pretty good job with pacing thus far and not dropping super overpowered cards. So Cam Whitmore still can play. It just comes down to he is no longer that next level good. We got a lot of small forwards, even like a Robert Covington, who are just as good, if not better. CP3, I'm going to go B tier. When CP3 came out, I didn't respect him as much as I should have because the card is fantastic. There is not many things on the court CP can't do. Knocks down shots, plays decent defense. From top to bottom, I like Chris Paul. B tier is where he belongs. De'Aaron Fox up next. I'm going to go B tier as well. I haven't used him, and nobody really uses him either. I feel like nobody uses him because nobody really has domination done. I'm getting closer and closer to having all-time dom done, but when it comes down to current dom, I'm still quite a ways away. I mean, Chris Paul is in my opinion, nearly just as good, if not better than De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is fine. Again, if you have him, you're probably really liking him, but for me, he is just okay. Desmond Bane up next is your collector level reward. It's sad that he was our first collector level reward, and he's better than the 500 card Nate Archibald reward. I think that's what Archibald is. It is just so sad. Desmond Bane is so good for collector level, but most of the collector level rewards aren't going to be good. How sad is that Desmond Bane is literally one of the best collector rewards we've seen, still B tier to this day. Dylan Brooks up next. I think B tier is where he belongs. If I move Brooks down, I gotta move Desmond Bane down because in my opinion, they belong in the same tier. Both shooting guard small forwards that you can use and ultimately have a lot of success with. For now, I'm going to move them both down just because I see we have a lot of great cards coming up. SGA, I don't have him yet. Slowly grinding for him. Probably going to have him by sometime next week if I had to guess. I think SGA is S tier. I think the card is absolutely elite. His height's good. His release is good. Is he that primary ball handler? I don't necessarily know about that. But I think outside of like Dwayne Wade, there's no other point guard nearly as complete. And I still think because of SGA's release and his offense, he's even more complete than Dwayne Wade, who I absolutely love. SGA, easy addition into S tier. By the way, Dwayne Wade is not going to be on this because the Pyramid of Power was not free. It was like $100 buy-in to basically start it. And so, or not $100, 100,000 MT to basically even be able to afford all those sapphires. And so for me, he was not exactly free. That's why he's not on this list. Will Chamberlain, no matter what Wilt you have, he's S tier. He's absolutely outstanding. Go check out my Will Chamberlain gameplay if you have not yet because the card can do it all on the court. Is he better than Shaq? I think it's close. I like Wilt's badges. I honestly love Wilt, man. So I don't know if he's better than Shaq. I don't even want to make that determination in this video because I do love both cards. And I think both cards are absolutely elite. Wilt for free as a level 40 is absolutely elite. Jerome Kersey, not a fan of him, C tier. His 3-ball is just not great. And honestly, if you got the tokens, I'm going to just head right to Phil Jackson. I like Phil Jackson more than Jerome Kersey. Say I'm crazy, say I'm wrong, but prove me otherwise. That's my opinion on things. Jerome Kersey's fine. You can use him. But I'm telling you guys right now, I think Phil Jackson is overall the better option. Terry up next. I'm not going to rank Terry. And if you're wondering why I'm not going to rank Terry, because I think they will update him. You know what? I'll rank him. Where he's at right now, Terry is B tier. Honestly, he's C tier. He's 6'7" at the small forward position, and you're not going to be able to get the card for 4 weeks. I'm not going to sit here and hype up a card like that. I'm not. He's C tier. If they update him, awesome. He's going to be moved way up. But until they update him, C tier is where he belongs. Kevin McHale up next. He's not very good. C tier for Kevin McHale. I got the card on my road to level 40, but it's just like, what does he really do for me on the court? I don't know. I'm not a fan of Kevin McHale in general. If you got him, C tier is where he belongs. Chris Morris up next. I'm going to do a gameplay of him today as well. At the time I'm recording this, I haven't done it yet, so I can't give you guys an accurate representation. I do think he's A tier though. Chris Morris is tall. He's 6'8" at the 2. He's got a good release. He's got good 6. Is the card perfect stat-wise? No. His stats should honestly be better than they are, but I still do think Chris Morris is deserving of A tier. Eddie Johnson, I also think is A tier. A lot of these Ruby rewards are going to be A tier caliber players, where each and every one of them honestly should be S tier. For as long and hard as of a grind as they are, I do believe every one of them should be S tier. But Eddie Johnson, still pretty solid. A tier, in my opinion, is where he belongs. Cliff Robinson up next. He's A tier. I can't go S tier. He is not that elite to be an S tier. He is A tier though, in my opinion. Easy addition there. Cliff Robinson, he plays absolutely elite defense. Has, a decent enough release. Defensively is really where Cliff Robinson's going to be at his best. Really going to make a difference. A tier is where he belongs. Mike Conley stinks. He's D tier. If you don't trust me in my Mike Conley judgment, hear me out. I'm a Timberwolves fan. I want Mike Conley to be usable. I want him to be good. The fact of the matter is he's just not good. And I'm not going to sit here and gas a card that's not good just for the sake of this video. Bob Love up next. I like Bob Love. Is he as good as these guys? Probably not. I'm going to have to move everybody down. I'm moving every single player on this tier list down one whole tier, at least for now. Why? Because I need to be able to put Cliff Robinson higher. I have to. And so for the sake of this, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this because I feel like I've got to I got to have Cliff Robinson and Bob Love as separate tiers. It is that simple. It is that easy. We'll see. We're going to have to maybe move people up. Raymond Felton up next, F tier as well. I do not love Raymond Felton in my team. I don't. He's a small guard that's not going to be very good in my team. If you want to gas Raymond Felton, have at it, man. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and tell you that you can't gas him. But if you do gas Raymond Felton, I'll be the one to sit here and tell you you're wrong. Raymond Felton is not good in my team. And what am I supposed to do? Get excited to grind for Raymond Felton? Is that what I'm supposed to do? See the season rewards and be like, wow, Raymond Felton. And be excited to grind for him? Because I'm not. E. Jinlian up next. Card is absolutely elite. A tier for E. If you want somebody to gas E. Jinlian, I will be the one to do it. He's long, he's lengthy, has a fantastic release. This card, if you are no money spent, is a perfect guy to add to your squad. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things to do if you are no money spent squad. Like, you can grind for Jaren, grind for that Ambi pack. Hope you pull Jaren. Even if you get, obviously, Lowry Marketer and Boncaro, they are fine as well. Or you can spend your time in salary cap getting E. Jinlian. Either option is fine. I'm just saying I got E on my TyDeBo 24 account, and I absolutely love the card. Does he play on the best squad in the game? No. But do I have a lot of fun using him? Absolutely. Jose Calderon up next. I don't know enough about him. I think he's going to be a salary cap reward eventually. I'm going to go C tier. I just think defensively he leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know enough about the card. I could be wrong on Jose Calderon. We'll see when the card eventually does get released. For now, he is going into C tier because I think that's where he ultimately does belong. Dan Marley up next. I have no issues with Dan Marley. I'm going to throw him at B tier. Again, I don't know where Dan Marley's at. I'm guessing another salary cap reward. But when the card comes out, we'll see. Defensively, obviously, he's going to be able to hold it down. It's Dan Marley. Offensively, going to be able to shoot the ball. For now, putting him at B tier, but he can definitely be moved. Christian Laettner stinks. He's going D tier as well. Give me Phil Jackson as a token reward over Christian Laettner over Kevin McHale. Now, I might move all these cards up because we have a lot of garbage men here at the bottom of this list. But for now, we're going D tier. Jeff Hornacek can shoot the ball. Yeah, and here's where I got to move people up, okay? Dylan Brooks got to go up. And Desmond Bane got to go up. That's the first thing I see. Because those guys, in my opinion, are better than Jeff Hornacek. Now, have I used Jeff Hornacek? No. He's got a high 3 ball, but that's all he gives you on the court. So I think Dylan Brooks, as well as Desmond Bane, are overall better options. Rick Fox, for what he is, isn't bad. C tier. He can do a little bit of everything on the court. I got no issues with Rick Fox. I think as a token card, he is better than Jerome Kersey, the Amethyst, which shouldn't be the case and is sad is the case, but I don't make the rules. It is what it is. Chris Bosh up next, S tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Chris Bosh, is he better than Wilt at the center position? No, but is Chris Bosh absolutely fantastic? Yes. Kyle Korver, as much as I don't like you, you're B tier. Here's what I'll say about Kyle Korver. For offline modes, he is fine. He's fine. Because for like a triple threat offline player, a clutch time offline player, he's fine. He's going to get you through those modes because he's got a good quick release. Now, if you play somebody that knows what they're doing, Kyle Korver will get absolutely sizzled, fried, turned over like a piece of bacon. So just take that for what it's worth. B tier is where he's going. Mitch Richmond, B tier as well. I like Mitch Richmond. I got Mitch Richmond on my no money spent, and honestly, I like him just as much, if not more, than Kyle Korver. They're very similar cards. Both can shoot the ball elite. Kyle Korver, obviously, side by side, is the better shooter. Kyle Korver's taller. Mitch Richmond's going to do a little more when it comes down to playmaking. Both cards are fine. Both cards are B tier. Steve Nash, you stink. You're going into D tier. I despise Steve Nash. I used him while I tried to do like the Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash duo gameplay, and man, Steve Nash was horrible. Amari, I don't got an issue with Amari. I think Amari is C tier. I think the card's fine. The problem is I really want to use the duo because that's when Amari becomes even better, but you can't do it. C tier is where he belongs. Andre Miller up next. I mean, F tier. I'm not going to sit up here and hype up a garbage man. Rondo, D tier. I'm not going to sit here and hype up a garbage man. I'm sorry, that's not my job. My job is to not hype up garbage men. That would be DBG's job. Both those cards stink. Sidney Moncrief, C. Good release. I would like to see his 3 ball be a little bit higher. Gary Payton, A tier. I'm sorry, but Gary Payton is absolutely elite in my team. Sidney Moncrief, you could, you know what? I'm gonna do this, okay? Because I don't like the Sidney Moncrief slander. I'll move Rondo to C tier. I don't like him, but I'll move him to C tier. I'll move Sidney Moncrief to B tier and Gary Payton to A tier because I think that's valid and I think that's that's accurate. I do like Sidney Moncrief, especially on the defensive end of the court. Al Horford up next. I'm not a big fan of Al, to be honest with you guys. I'm gonna go C tier. Some people like Al. My opinion, he's undersized. He doesn't really rebound the ball. Al Horford leaves something to definitely be desired, in my opinion. Steve Francis, C tier, I guess. I'm not a big Steve Francis fan. Better than Steve Nash, though. I mean, if I get a chance to slander Steve Nash, I'm absolutely going to do it. Eddie Jones up next. I don't mind Eddie Jones. I'm going to go B tier. A lot of people are going to get mad at me for this. I think Eddie Jones is more complete than Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane. And that's coming from somebody who loves those cards. Eddie Jones, release-wise, isn't as good as, you know, he has been in the past. But the card still from top to bottom is one of the most complete shooting guards in the entire game. Jermaine O'Neal up next, B tier. Jermaine O'Neal's player build is absolutely elite. I'm a firm believer that Jermaine O'Neal is better than Al Horford. Now, do I use Jermaine O'Neal right now in the No Money Spent Squad series? No, because it's just tough for me to find a way to get him in the lineup. But I still do when I have used him in certain modes. I really like Jermaine O'Neal. Channing Frye, I'm going to go C tier. Yes, I like Jermaine O'Neal more than Channing Frye. Why? Because of his ability to compete on the defensive end of the court. If somebody can play defense compared to a guy that is basically just a stretch big, I'm going to give it to the guy that can play defense. And Jermaine O'Neal has a high enough 3 ball he can knock down that occasional shot. Chuck Person, he's fine. He's going into C tier. You can use him, have some success with him. He's fine. I just don't necessarily love the card. People are going to be like, over Terry. Man, Terry's not available for 3 weeks, so that obviously has an impact. Clyde the Glide, B tier, he's fine. He's just not my type of shooting guard. I want a shooting guard that I can torch the nets with. Clyde is more of that slasher, attack the rim type of guy. He is deserving of B tier though. Draymond Green by himself, B tier. With the duo with Steph, he then becomes A tier, maybe even S tier. I'll put him in B tier. just for the sole fact that this is a free card list, and we can't talk about having Steph if we are talking about free cards. So Draymond Green going to B tier. I don't even think he plays for me anymore in the No Money Spent Squad series. Like, he's just undersized. Jabari Smith Jr., I want to put you into C tier, but I do think you're better than Al and Channing Frye. I'll put you into B tier, at least for the majority of people. His release is super, super silky. He's fast. He just gets matched so badly, and it makes me so, so mad. I love everything about Jabari Smith Jr. outside of the fact that he gets matched so stinking badly, and it makes me so, so, so mad. So that's the only thing about Jabari that I really hate. Everything else he can do at a pretty high level in my team. Next up, guys, Joakim Noah. I'm a fan of Joakim Noah. I'm a big fan of Joakim Noah. I'm going to go all the way up to A tier. If you got Joakim Noah, you got an absolutely elite big in my team. Now, he's got to go. He's got to be B tier. Because he's more so on the level of a guy like Jermaine O'Neal than E. Jin Lian. He just is. E. Jin Lian way better than Joakim Noah. I do not mind Joakim in my team, though. Okay? Can't shoot. I get that. But defensively is an absolute menace. Jordan Walsh up next, a card I still definitely do rate high. I'm going to put him at B tier. You guys can say I'm gassing Jordan Walsh. He's got one of the smoothest releases in my team. He's going to play defense for you. What else do you need him to do on the court? That's the only thing I'd ask. If you don't think he's B tier, why? He does everything for you on the court. Julius Randle, I'm going to put you at B tier. You want to see Julius Randle make me mad today? Watch the No Money Spent Squad series. He does nothing on the court for me, but he's not that bad. I'm putting him at B tier just because I like his release. But I don't know. I really, you could argue C tier, and I'm not going to argue against it. He really doesn't do much for me on the court. Kyrie Irving up next, and y'all should know where Kyrie's going. S tier. S tier, S tier, S tier. Is he as good as SGA? Probably not, but Kyrie Irving still plays for me. He's still, in my opinion, until I get Shea, going to be in my lineup. Once I get Shea, we'll have to see. I'll probably run D-Wade over Kyrie, but as it stands right now, Kyrie Irving S tier. Magic Johnson at the center position, I do not like. I'm going to put him at D tier. Some people like Magic at center. Credit to him. That's not me. I despise Magic Johnson at center. He's D tier for me. Marcus Smart up next. I don't mind Marcus Smart. I'm going to throw him at C tier right there with Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane. And that's not a bad tier. But when we're talking about shooting guards, Mitch Richmond, Kyle Korver is probably better than Marcus Smart. Side by side. It is what it is. Yes, my love for Korver's went up a little bit after using him in offline modes. Matt Barnes up next. C tier. He has one of these silkiest releases in the entire game. Nobody's going to argue that. But when it comes down to it defensively, he's just not great. And offensively, outside of shooting the ball, just doesn't give you a whole ton. Matthew Dellavedova up next, C tier. I have no issues with him. Gonna play defense. The problem with Delly is his release is so slow, man. Like, it is, people think that they can shoot with Delly, and then they use that release and realize it is so slow. So, just a fair warning. I like Delly. His player build's good, but that release is horrible. Mike Miller up next, C tier. As much as I like Mike Miller, Kyle Korver is objectively better. And it is what it is. One tier better is all I can go. But Mike Miller will always have a special place in my heart. Him and Desmond Bane, I'll always love them because they got me through the first couple of weeks. Pau Gasol up next. I'd be lying to say I know where to put him. I'm going to put him at A tier. But I really don't know because I don't have Pau Gasol. If you have Pau Gasol, you can let me know down below in the comments where he should be on this tier list. For now, I'm putting him at A tier. If you got him, probably should be playing him after spending all that time grinding him out. Victor Oladipo does have point guard eligibility now. I'm going to throw Victor Oladipo at A tier. If you got him, that's fine. He's, in my opinion, a slightly maybe better Gary Payton. Just going to give you more than Gary Payton on the court is the main thing. Gary's going to maybe play better defense, I would argue. But outside of that, I do think Victor Oladipo is overall the better card. The problem for Victor Oladipo is you had to grind 60 games for a very mediocre card. So even if you didn't grind for Victor Oladipo, I wouldn't even be too mad about it because the card isn't even that next level of good in my team. That's going to wrap it up for a free card tier list today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Who is I too high on, too low on? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.